What's up, dudes and dudes to the internet? My name is Scythe. Got another vlog video coming out to all of you. So today, the plan is I'm gonna be getting a 3-hour session to add more to my left arm tattoo. Just in case anybody's actually wondering, I'm of the mind where I want to actually get that one project finished, and then we're going to end up moving on to some other tattoos and stuff. It's 11:10 now, and I have to get there for 11:30, which isn't too bad because thankfully I actually have wheels today, so I don't have to bike. It does mean I have to pay for parking downtown, but honestly I'm fine with it because I'm starting to get a cold. You might be able to hear it right now, but you might not. I'm very, I'm kind of coughy and a little bit of a tickle is in my throat. Unfortunately, because I have to go downtown and can't very well leave the dog in the van or anything or take her into the tattoo shop, I gotta leave her at home alone, which kind of sucks, but you know, she's kind of gotta get used to it too. I'm a little bit overprotective of her, which is little dog syndrome. Look it up if you don't know what that is. So I'm trying to kind of go against what feels more clingy and stuff like that and just go for something that's a bit more natural. Like, she's got to learn to be on her own anyways, right? But at least she is starting to get the hang of going outside to use the toilet. But it still is a bit of a project, man. Most of all, me getting used to her schedule. Like, today when we woke up, she went potty in the house, because I didn't specifically, like, what I know now that I need to do is, whether or not I want to brush my teeth, she can't wait. So I just gotta get up and take her out. On top of that, another big reason that I think I'm sick is because I've been trying to step up my workout routine. Just fun fact of life, because I used to work out a lot more than I do now. And I mean, especially with the dog, man, like, I'm really overly exhausted taking care of her, which is fine, but I'm not really getting as much exercise in because I'm not able to bike with her or anything like that. There is like dog backpacks, and I had one, but it was pretty gross. Like, it was very uncomfortable. When I was trying to ride the bike with her, she really liked it, but I kept like having to spread my legs a lot so that I wasn't just kneeing her butt, you know? The whole point I'm trying to make is whenever, like without fail, every time I end up actually exercising to a higher level, I always end up getting sick because my immune system kind of cools off a little bit and just gets brought down because of the fact that my body's rebuilding itself, right? But I'm not really gonna let that get me down. There was a time when I was younger where I did kind of a 30-day challenge and I was working out every day, just very light exercises, but the fact is the consistency, that's where it matters most. Pretty much adopt that type of behavior for anything. At least that's what I personally believe, is consistency is one of the most important detrimental things in today's society. You know, especially because everybody's got all the ADD and stuff, right? Even myself, like, I'm an older guy and even I kind of have a low attention span. But at the same time, it's like, do we really have low attention spans, or is it just that we need more stimulation? Which I guess kind of argues the same point. But I'm just saying, like, it's like, maybe it's just that other things are too boring and we're becoming more and more intelligent, so we're not as satisfied intellectually, you know what I mean? That's probably reading way too deep into it. Down out of the parkade now. My heart's starting to race, man. Always gets like really pumping and the adrenaline, and I get all nervous and stuff just because it is crazy painful. Hey guys. And I mean, excited about it, you know. New tattoos are good, and most of all, like, now that I'm kind of more used to getting them more consistently, I think I'm pretty okay. This is what my tattoo is right now. It only goes up to the sunburn, so I guess I'll show you all in 3 hours what we end up getting done. Another intense tattoo session gone and done with. Woo! That sucked around the elbow, dude. It really, really did. Otherwise, it was right at the sweet spot as far as the time was concerned, because the last tattoo I got, I ended up, like, it was like a 4-hour session or over 4 hours or something, and it got to the same point that it did right now, where I'm sitting there, it hurts, and most of all, I'm kind of annoyed, a little bit frustrated, and just want to leave. But in the last session, I didn't get to leave for like another hour, as opposed to today, this took a little over 3 hours, and it just hit that sweet spot where it was just getting too frustrating, and then it was over. So I'll show you all what it looks like when I get back home. I have it bandaged and stuff right now. Most of all, that's just to protect it from like the sun and just the environment and stuff. And then as soon as I get home, I take the bandage off, I clean it up, and there you go. You find yourselves getting tattoos, breathing, not holding your breath, and have lots of fluids. Make sure that you eat before you go as well, because those are detrimental towards the whole process, especially if you're getting bigger ones. There was a couple of people that came in, they just get like quick little ones. There was a chick where she got like her first tattoo, and it's like, you know, even the tattoo guy's saying like, it's addicting, watch out, because it is. Like it really, really is once you end up actually starting down that road. And for the parents watching at home, I'm not saying that I condone it one way or another. I'm just saying that until you're old enough, it's up to your parents. And then when you're old enough, if it's something that's your calling and you gotta do it, then you do it, right? One of the big things that you're gonna hear a lot when you first start is people saying, don't get something you'll regret, don't get something you'll regret. And that applies, it does, but that's also like people being very, I don't know, like, do they live life in regret or something like that? Like I've never made a decision that I've been like haunted by and regret. It's like, even if it's a decision that you're not exactly happy with, you just got to live with that anyways. And what's the point in holding on to it? Well, I caught a bit of a lucky break with that one. It's BC Day, so it was free parking. Nice. I didn't even know it was BC Day, dude. I might end up trying to come back downtown with you folks, but we'll see what happens with that regard, because I've got a lot of videos to catch up on, and that's my top priority over coming and hanging out downtown with nobody, right? Oh, JubJub. Hello, sweetheart. Come on. Come on. Let's go. Let's go.
I know you missed me. I know I was gone for like 5 days according to your dog life. You almost dead? You an old woman yet? You certainly look like one. I know. My son, I know.
I gotta take her to the washroom now. This is always the hardest part, folks, because admittedly, I am terrible with blood, especially when it's my own blood. And look at this. This is this is probably the worst looking of all the tattoos I've ever done. So just a heads up, folks, blood warning. Okay, so another pro tip if you're getting tattoos yourself is to always use unscented soap. I always just go for the Aveeno because I have eczema, and this is actually a really good soap just for skin in general, let alone, oh, this is always the worst part. Oh, it didn't stick to me that bad, but man, those are some red bandages, dude. Woo! You don't really notice that much of the blood on the arm, but holy cow, I look like Popeye right now. Super swollen. So what he ended up actually doing was this part was already done, so he had it kind of grow out here and kind of did that all the way around, even to the what he ended up doing there on the elbow. I think turned out really, really cool, dude. So the next section that we're going to end up doing in a couple weeks or maybe a month or so is probably going to be up here, right? Kind of get a long continuous thing going up the entire arm. Cold water is always best, I find. And the whole point is you're trying to scrub in and get rid of all the blood, because otherwise it's going to cause infection. It's not as bad as the last tattoo I did, like the one that was on the wrist. That spot really got to me. The worst spot on this one, if I didn't say it earlier, was the elbow. Whew! So I think that turned out pretty cool. Now it's time to pat dry it, and despite the fact that you would think that something like this should be covered up, I cover it up if I go out into the sun for sure. You know, don't want to end up getting burned. And if I'm going out and doing like crazy tasks or anything that, you know, could potentially like scrape up against it or put clothes on it. But outside of that, you're not supposed to cover it up. You're actually supposed to let it get a lot of air. That seems to be how it heals faster. That's what I did with the last one that we just did. And that one ended up healing quite quickly. Oh, man, that's exhausting. Well, turned out pretty cool. I'm satisfied with it. He blended it very, very well with the rest. It's going to be a pretty sick tattoo once it's actually, like, not only fully healed, but fully up the arm. Otherwise, I am starving right now, and I gotta get back to some trove fishing. So it's been maybe an hour now since the last clip. I was able to talk to my good friend Boiling Action and Chelsea on Skype, and then I ended up doing my Ultra Shadow Towers on Trove with Val, Joe, and Merc, and even Critter ended up showing up. This little one, I'm pretty sure, like, I don't know if she wants to go for a run or something, because she was super duper hyper. Maybe she's got to go to the washroom. That's where I'm taking her now. Otherwise, I've got some rice cooking that I want to show you this. This right here, sesame steak sauce. It looks like gravy. Absolutely delicious when you throw it on rice. It makes it so good, like seriously, right? And then my pop's still at work, so when he starts coming back, he's going to call me, and then I'm going to order us some Chinese food. And that's going to kind of be my big meal of the day. The rice is just to kind of hold me off until then. And then otherwise, I just got finished with the last vlog video as far as editing is concerned. I might have to delay that video a day just because otherwise I'm going to be really far behind. And most of all, the video is going to be very rushed if I end up actually putting it out right now. And I still don't really like doing that, man, you know, because it means I won't have any time to make a proper thumbnail or, like, make a cool title or something that people would be interested in. It would just be like, I'm throwing this up, and it'd be like, someone's getting married. So we'll see what happens with that. Yes, sweetheart. She's actually really difficult to drive with when I drive solo like this because she keeps wanting on my lap. Like, you're adorable, but just go to bed on the chair. So I didn't really get any work done yet. I'm actually feeling worse off than I was earlier. The tickle in my throat has kind of gotten even more ticklish, let's say. But I had the Chinese food. My pop just got back, so he's going to be busy eating that. But Johnny mentioned that I should come over and hang out with him and his girl, Catherine. So I thought, hey, why not take the opportunity to get out of the house, maybe get some, get JubJub to actually spend some of her much overdue energy. That way I can get her hopefully a little bit more tired out for when I get back and start recording. But just with how I'm feeling right now, I can already tell I'm not going to be able to do a very long session. Maybe I'll get lucky. You know, sometimes it happens where I start recording and I get into it, and then it's like, even if I'm sick, it's not going to keep me down, right? Heading back home now. Just ended up hanging out with them for about an hour. Well, including all the driving, of course. We ended up playing a card game called Skip Bo, which is like the stupidest card name I've ever heard. Like, seriously, that is a game. Otherwise, I gotta go home, make myself some coffee, and get to work. Man, like with this summer heat, my recording booth sure does get hot, like seriously. So I ended up recording a couple Trove videos, so that'll give me a couple days to stock up on some more content. And then I also did a couple indie game videos as well. In any case, I know that it was kind of all over the place today. This vlog video probably is going to end up being quite long as well, so I'm sorry about that one, folks. I thought it was going to be a quick, easy day where I was just going to end up getting the tattoo, which is looking good. It's actually not even nearly as painful as any of the others. I don't know if it's because my body's used to it or maybe just the spot that it's on. Like, it's definitely swollen for sure, and it's red in a lot of ways. But it's not like, it's barely bleeding, if at all. I already ended up washing it a second time, and it seems fine, man. Like, no problems at all. But, yeah, I gotta get to work, so I'll call it here and say thank you so much for watching, everybody. Sayonara, and stay epic.